Welcome to the RJI Futures Lab, where we help you make your organization more innovative. I'm Ruben Stern. This week, smart ways to think about push notifications and encryption technologies that any reporter could use. A key feature of smartphones and emerging devices like the Apple Watch is the alert or push notification. The functionality offers news organizations an important tool for connecting users with stories, especially breaking news. The Futures Lab's Daniel Shapiro walks us through some ideas for how to use alerts effectively.
When it comes to push notifications on mobile devices, yes, you can send out every headline and story you publish, but should you? NBC News Digital's app Breaking News allows users to sign up to receive push notifications about major breaking news stories. The app will push out what they deem are the biggest stories, with the rest accessible in the app. Its other defining feature is proximity alerts. By enabling this, users can be notified of the big stories happening near their location based on a radius determined by Breaking News' editors. Their goal is to, quote, make sure it reaches you at a relevant, important time. Some companies like the Chicago Tribune and ESPN offer alerts via text message and have been for a while. These organizations also have push notifications available through their apps, but text messages offer the benefit of reaching people who don't own smartphones. Another advantage to this method is that users don't have to use up valuable mobile data. Plus, these alerts can come through in areas where there might not be reliable 3 or 4G service and Wi-Fi. Newsy, a video news operation owned by EW Scripps, uses push notifications to direct users to more in-depth content. What makes Newsy's alerts unique is they send users to a news video, whereas other news apps tend to send out text-only pieces.
You hear a lot of brands and news organizations talk about being human, whether it's through social media, whether it's through headlines, through storytelling. And we believe in all of that, but we also believe it extends to our products as well. I think you can be human whenever it comes to things like an iPhone push notification.
Another app called Hooks allows users to set up custom alerts for a wide variety of topics. For example, if you want the app to give you updates on sports results, when the latest Game of Thrones episode premieres, or even when a new Tesla car is released, it can do that. What makes Hooks an interesting push notification app is this high level of customization. Traditionally, push notifications have been restricted to mobile apps, but now it's possible for web browsers to send them too. Roost is a company that isn't a push notification app, it's a browser extension. Available for both mobile and desktop browsers, Roost allows users to set up push alerts for websites that partner with them. This way, if the website doesn't have an app, users can still get push notifications from publishers on Android phones and desktops.
When you receive a notification from an app, it opens the app that sent the notification to you, and you have some sort of interaction with the app. So the main difference is where you end up, right? So when you follow a Roost notification, you end up on the web, and otherwise you end up within an app. This will sound radical, but I think in a few years, push notifications will be the primary way people consume content on the web. Right now, it's the primary way people consume content in apps, and I think the entire web is going to follow that pattern.
So what are some things to keep in mind about push notifications? For starters, you need to give people options. While one user might want updates on the latest sports results, another might want to hear about world events. Communicating on a human level is another key factor in push notifications. When your news organization is competing against Facebook, Twitter, and yes, Tinder, you'll need something more than a generic headline to grab the audience's attention. Finally, don't oversaturate your stories. Just because someone downloaded your app or subscribed to your site doesn't mean they want everything. Take a look at the stories you're pushing out, make sure they're your highest quality content, and do your best to ensure readers are coming back for more. For the Futures Lab, this is Daniel Shapiro.
Apps from Yahoo, Circa, and The Economist are using another approach, which is to notify users once when a daily digest of stories inside the app is updated and ready for reading. For some reporters, the idea of using encrypted communication lines might seem a bit complicated or overly cautious. But as we learned from an editor at ProPublica, a few tools can make encrypted communication simple enough for anyone.
As technology evolves, it's becoming easier for sensitive information to be compromised, but there are still ways for journalists to keep conversations with sources confidential.
Even with the net being so open to surveillance, both from private companies, if you're dealing with sources in private companies, and governments around the world, repressive regimes, say in the Middle East or something like that, it still is entirely possible to communicate digitally safely.
Larson recommends 2 tools for beginners. The first is CryptoCat.
CryptoCat provides confidentiality. So it means that anybody who is sitting between me and my source can see that we're talking, can see that we're communicating in some way, but it's all encrypted as it goes over.
CryptoCat is a web browser tool that works by encrypting conversations between a journalist and other sources.
One thing it doesn't provide is anonymity. So people who are watching network traffic will see that my source is talking to me, which could be a deal breaker in some situations.
The second tool Larson recommends is Signal. It's a mobile app that encrypts voice conversations using your existing phone number and doesn't require a password.
So much of what we do as reporters, we're very mobile, and we always have our phones on us. So calling a source via an encrypted line is much better than sending an SMS that may be intercepted or could be intercepted if we're in a dangerous place.
In addition to encrypting voice calls, Signal enables users to send secure group text, picture, and video messages. Communicating via the app helps make the conversation more secure.
The police can subpoena pretty much any and all records from the phone companies. But if you're using encrypted traffic, they can't do that. And because it's going over the data line, it's an entirely separate set of pipes. It provides a safety net. I can't emphasize enough that these tools are easy and kind of a little bit fun to use.
Both CryptoCat and Signal are free, and the Signal software is an open source. For the Futures Lab, this is Raven Brown.
Along with this video, you'll find links to some additional tools that might be helpful when reporting sensitive stories. And that's it for this report from the RJI Futures Lab. I'm Ruben Stern. We'll see you in the future.